It's the 2025-26 home opener from King Arena as the Wheaton Thunder from the CCIW take on the Lake Forest Foresters from the Midwest Conference. And now I'm so pleased to send it courtside to the greatest public address announcer in the history of Wheaton College sports, the two-time Hall of Famer and state champion golf coach, Mr. Tim Martin.
Push through it, I ain't pointing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wheaton College basketball. Opening night at King Arena tonight, we have the Wheaton College Thunder going against the Lake Forest College Foresters. And now, would everyone please rise for the playing of the national anthem.
And now the starting lineups. First, the visitors from Lake Forest. At guard, a 6-foot sophomore out of McHenry. Number 2, Marco Vishnevak. At wing, a 6'1 senior out of Plainfield. That's number 4, Alex Brown. At wing, a 6'3 senior out of Lake Forest. Number 22, Alex Forowitz. At wing, a 6'3 junior out of Los Angeles. That's number 25, Cole Train Marchand. And at forward, a 6'6 senior out of Somerset, Texas, 50, Christian Rodriguez. Lake Forest is coached by Matt Griggs, who's assisted by Shea Couples, Pat Ambrose, Cliff Paul, and Elijah Bull. And now, Wheaton College fans, on your feet, the starting lineup for your Wheaton College Thunder. At guard, a 6'5", sophomore out of Caledonia, number 4, Kyan Vanderwood. At guard, a 6'3", sophomore out of Westerville, Ohio, that's number 12, Devin Martin. At guard, a 6'3", junior out of Northfield, Minnesota, number 20, Soren Richardson. At guard, a 6'8", freshman of Tempe, number 34, Carson Greer. And at forward, a 6'6", freshman out of Lone Tree, Colorado. That's 35, Brady Winya. Wheaton College is coached by Mike Schauer, who's assisted by JP John Panner and Timothy Watts.
Alongside the Swiss Army knife, Drew Swiston. I'm Aiden Kong, and Drew picking up from where we left off against North Central. What are you looking forward to in tonight's home opener?
All these two teams, Lake Forest and Wheaton, are very similar in terms of skill and size, but have very contrasting game styles. Lake Forest, they're going to be looking to get the ball in the paint, draw fouls, get a lot of their points from there. In the first game of the season against North Park, they scored over half their points in the paint. On the other hand, Wheaton shot 11 for 23 from three-ball last game. That's how they got most of their points. They'll be looking to pick up a fast tempo, scored 99 points last game. They'll be looking to get that offense and three-point shooting going early here.
Of course, a lot of hype for Wheaton with the arrival of a lot of new freshmen, Carson Greer, Reed Olson, and Brady Winya, with Olson and Greer in the starting lineup. Thunder got the win against Concordia, Wisconsin. 99-95 on Saturday, looking to start 2-0 for the first time since the 2022-23 season. Alex Forwitz, Carson Greer, the center. And let's roll from King Arena. Already got ourselves a foul near the paint, and it's going to go against Lake Forest.
You already see Lake Forest picking up Wheaton in a man defense. That's what you usually see here, D3 basketball. Wheaton creating a lot of movement, trying to get screens, get guys open from out beyond the arc.
Of course, Wheaton this season seems to have a lot of new weapons, a lot of guys with large scoring gravities.
Absolutely, and primarily among them is Soren Richardson, who just picked up his first bucket of the night. Last year, he averaged 23 points per game. Last game, he scored 18, had a bit of an off night, but obviously Lake Forest is going to be focusing a lot of defensive attention on him tonight.
Rodriguez rolls to the rack, counted and one for the Foresters.
And that was a nice cut by Rodriguez. Nice find from Lake Forest. Wheaton, not a lot of resistance there, let Rodriguez get into the paint pretty easily, and he's able to make the nice end one.
Of course, Christian Rodriguez, Alex Forwitz both scored 27 points for Rodriguez, 27 points, 9 rebounds, and assist on 58% true shooting. The senior out of Texas, who averaged 12 points last year, which was third on the team.
Yeah, of course, Lake Forest missing Alex Knight, their highest scorer from last year, averaged 20 points per game. And absolutely, Christian Rodriguez is one of those guys who picked up the slack.
And there's Carson Greer, the freshman sensation, able to score his first bucket. Very solid debut against Concordia, Wisconsin.
Absolutely, you love to see the freshman from Wheaton coming in, first game ever in college, and contributing early.
Rodriguez, back-to-back field goals for Christian Rodriguez.
Nice touch off the backboard from Rodriguez, tough angle, banked it home.
Vanderwood picked up by Alex Brown. 15 on the shot clock for Carson Greer. Now he finds freshman Brady Wingya inside and a block. And Wheaton will retain possession.
Greer was doubled there on that possession, drew two Lake Forest defenders, and it was a nice find to Brady Wingya, as you see there on the replay, but that was Coltrane Marchand with the block as he goes up again.
There's Carson Greer able to finish it off. Second field goal for Carson Greer.
And that was one thing that was missing from Wheaton last year, is size, presence under the rim. Good to see the freshman helping out with that this year.
Coltrane Marchand for three, in and out.
That's probably not the shot you want to see from Lake Forest. Three early on in the possession, not one of their top shooters, Marchand.
Greer for three. Boom goes the dynamite.
Wheaton picking up where they left off. I mentioned in the pregame, they shot 11 for 23 from three-pointer last game. That was almost better than the free throw percentage.
Carson Greer with 7 of the first 9 points for Wheaton. As it's Christian Rodriguez misses, Alex Brown with the offensive rebound. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Lake Forest.
And check out this play here from the last Wheaton offensive possession. There was the screen there from Soren Richardson that enabled Carson Greer to have a wide-open three-pointer. Nailed it.
A Lake Forest team that's coming off a loss against North Park in their home opener. Off the screen, Forwitz for three, springs out.
And to contrast with Wheaton, Lake Forest in their first game only shot 5 for 23 from three, 21%.
Vanderwood will try from three. Too strong. Was Kyan Vanderwood last time leading scorer, 26 points. Some guy who just seems to get better and better and better as the game progresses.
Lake Forest trying to create some motion, get some good looks in inside, but Wheaton covering very well on their man defense.
Marchand drives, too much gas.
That was defense by Vanderwood that forced a bit of an off-balance shot there. Tough one for Marchand.
Kyle Neves from three, green lights the triple.
Well, Lake Forest will find out you can't leave Kyle Neves with that much space, as you see Lake Forest coach Matt Griggs over on the side, not happy with that one, as Kyle Neves all the time in the world.
8-0 run for Wheaton, ball out of bounds. It'll be third possession.
It's going to be a sub for Lake Forest. Luke Arrington coming in for Marchand. course, Kyle Nebbs, 5 for 8 from three-pointer off the bench last game. He was a key contributing factor in that win over Concordia, Wisconsin.
Arlington Senior has surprised Arizona. 9 points, 3 rebounds, and assists against North Park.
See Lake Forest with a 2-1-2 press here, trying to create some pressure for Wheaton, trying to force them to make some mistakes here as Wheaton's off to an early 8-point lead.
Vanderwood guarded by Rodriguez. Wants the three. Boom, there's the dynamite.
And Vanderwood was trying to get the ball to Soren Richardson, create a one-on-one scoring opportunity for him, but it wasn't there as defenders were collapsing around Richardson.
Rodriguez gets the friendly roll. First point in a really long time for Lake Forest. Previously, the Thunder were on a 13-2 run.
Lake Forest is showing how they can execute, getting the ball inside, getting some easy buckets.
Vanderwood, it got blocked. Ball out of bounds, and he'll stay with the Thunder.
Going back to that last offensive Wheaton possession, there was a nice read by Vanderwood, seeing that the defenders were sagging back towards Soren Richardson, taking that open space, being confident, step up to the line, knock down the shot.
Noah Hedrick, one of those other seniors for Wheaton, choosing to stay with the Thunder. He's in the game. Hedrick back outside, Vanderwood with the screen, Richardson for three. Yes, sir!
Noah Hedrick, great eyes. Again, he got into the middle of the paint, drew true defenders, saw the open man, Soren Richardson, kicked it outside. Yet another three for Wheaton early on.
Vishnovac will try. Off the mark. Here comes Kyan Vanderwood on the fast break. Got stripped as he was trying to go for the shot, and he'll stay with the Thunder on this end.
I will say, even though that play did not result in points, you'd like to see Wheaton pushing the tempo, forcing Lake Forest to be on their toes. They just did not do anything to stop Vanderwood from driving right into the middle of the paint there. Got to have better on-ball defense for Lake Forest.
Wake Forest lost against North Park 93-87. Both teams in an offensive shootout. The Thunder 99 points against Concordia, Wisconsin. Most points scored in a season opener since 2004.
Once again, you see Soren Richardson isolated on that side. They're trying to get him a one-on-one scoring opportunity. Lake Forest is doing a good job preventing those.
Martin slithers, now takes a mid-range J, spatters out.
Very solid defense from Lake Forest there.
Foresters defense, that was the 7th best in the Midwest. Vanderwood almost comes up with the steal, instead it's taken away by Kyle Nebbs. Devin Martin on the fast break, reaches the cylinder. Timeout taken on the floor by Coach Drake. The Thunder up 20-6.
Oh, what a first 5 minutes from Wheaton. 4 for 4 from 3, 20 points, and they have really left Lake Forest just scrambling, not sure what to do here on the defensive end.
Let's first start with the Wheaton Thunder. And let's not cherry pick what happened last year for Wheaton. 7-18, 4-12 in the CCIW. Back-to-back losing seasons for the first time since the 2015-16 season and the 2016-17 season. First time last in the CCIW back-to-back years. And in that season, the longest losing streak in program history at 13. That being said, Wheaton 4-2 their final 6 games, and a lot of promising players poised for a breakout this year.
And Coach Schauer does have a history of turning this Wheaton program around from a losing team to a winning team. You mentioned the 2015-16 and 16-17 season. Later in the 2018-2019 season, Wheaton ended up making the NCAA D3 Final Four. So definitely expect Coach Schauer to get some players in and get this Wheaton team back up to their former glory.
Of course, that was during the era of Aston Francis, who won a Jostens Trophy, scored 62 points, which is the most points ever, and it came in the Elite 8 en route to Wheaton's first Final Four appearance, where they lost to eventual national champion UW Oshkosh. And then Wheaton's last NCAA tournament appearance comes in the 2022-23 season with Tyson Cruikshank, also another Jostens Trophy winner. Wheaton went all the way to the Elite 8, lost to Christopher Newport, who also won the national championship that year.
And Wheaton's hoping for Soren Richardson to be that type of Aston Francis player for this Wheaton team, be the star, carry on the offensive side of things. But obviously, basketball is a team sport. He can't do it by himself. That's why it's so encouraging to see some of these younger Wheaton players stepping up so early in the season.
Reed Olson, one of the freshmen in for Wheaton. There's Christian Rodriguez, can't get the shot to go. Richardson bags the rebound.
Rodriguez has all 6 of Lake Forest's points so far. He's gotten the ball in the paint, and very nice touch around the rim. That one just a little hard, a little long.
Hedrick will try. Sinks the triple.
Wheaton cannot seem to miss so far. If you're just tuning in, 5 threes for Wheaton off 5 attempts. Have not missed from outside the arc.
And Wheaton was 11 of 23 from downtown, 48% against Concordia, Wisconsin. Vishnovac, he's picked up by the freshman. Vishnovac tries inside, can't get it to go, and we got ourselves a foul going against the Thunder.
Check out what happened here. I thought that was very solid on-ball defense from Reed Olson, but a little bit of a bump there, a little too much contact.
Marco Vishnovac, the sophomore at McHenry, Illinois, to the free throw line last year. Played in 25 games, averaged about a point and a rebound. First 2 games this season, first time in the starting combination in his career. 5 points, 1 rebound, and 3 assists against North Park, along with 2 steals. And you mentioned Alex Knight, the player that Lake Forest lost. He was a 3-time All-Midwest Conference selection, had 545 career points, rather 545 points that season, which is the second most in a single season for Lake Forest.
It's very tough to move on from a player like that, and obviously that's going to be a challenge for Lake Forest this year. Last year they were the runner-up in their conference. This year they'll be finding their new team identity without Alex Knight.
And in terms of career points, 1,554 career points for Alex Knight, 4th most in Lake Forest history. Richardson on the spin move, tries to go outside to Kyle Nebbs, pass too tall, and a turnover for Wheaton.
Wheaton got their isolation situation with Richardson. You see right here, but you also see right there Luke Arrington from Lake Forest immediately coming over and double teaming, which is the correct move in that situation. The forces first Wheaton turnover of the night.
Thunder 19-4 run in the last 5 minutes and 10 seconds. They've had a blistering hot start to start this first half. Forowitz, it's back out to Nikola Popovic. Forowitz will shoot, springs out. And trying to get the rebound, and a nice play by Hanavar as it will stay with the Foresters.
Lake Forest probably need to get a little more movement there on the offensive side of things. They're relying on a lot of dribble drives, which Wheaton is pretty effectively closing off so far.
Quick
Nice set
inside
play.
feed. Now's the finish by Alex Forowitz, the second team All-Midwest Conference from a season ago. Lake Forest likely going to be running their offense around him.
He also scored 27 points in that game against North Park.
Vanderwood, 3-2 strong. Forowitz able to just grab that rebound. And almost a steal. The ball goes on the ground. It will stay with Lake Forest as Carson Greer was trying to get the steal and was fighting with Popovic.
We love to see the hustle from the freshman diving on the floor, almost creating a turnover. They'll stay with Lake Forest here.
So far, Lake Forest in this ballgame, 4 of 11, 36%. Wheaton is 9 of 15 at 60%, 5 of 6 from downtown. Popovic being hounded by Noah Hedrick. Forowitz, 12 on the shot clock. He's picked up by Vanderwood, trying to get into a shooting motion and draw the foul. He could not. Popovic, 5 on the shot clock. Drives inside, counted and 1.
Scrappy possession there by Lake Forest. Didn't go quite their way, but they stayed with it. That was Popovic there. Nice read, getting inside, drawing Lake Forest 2nd and 1 of the night.
And part of the new rule changes for this year is continuous motion. Last year, that bucket would have probably not counted, and it would have been a foul on the floor. But this year, they're trying to let players continue with their movements inside, as Popovic able to complete the three-point play. Sophomore at Lake Zurich, Illinois, played in 10 games a season ago, averaged a point and a rebound. 8 points, 2 rebounds and assists against the Vikings of North Park on Saturday. Vanderwood twirling, shot on the way, misses everything.
Spin move from Vanderwood there. He wanted the foul, but Lake Forest, nice shot contest. As that ball gets away from Lake Forest, Nebbs on the floor. Bounce off his foot. Lake Forest ball. Wheaton certainly bringing the energy tonight. First home game of the season. They are coming out with fire.
Screen by Hanavar. Arlington for 3. Luke Arlington, too much sauce. He gets his own rebound. Nice feed to Marshawn.
Marshawn going up strong there. not avoiding the contact, going right up into the Wheaton defender there.
First field goal technically for Coltrane Marchand, junior of Los Angeles, California, but at 5 points, 10 rebounds against the Vikings. Last year, this was a guy who averaged 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists on 57% true shooting. Vanderwood, 8 on the shot clock. Trying to bank it inside, can't get it to go.
Of course, Wheaton's team is not just Soren Richardson, but now that Soren Richardson has been out, Wheaton has found scoring opportunities harder to come by, and that's because when Soren Richardson is in, he focuses so much defensive attention up from Lake Forest that now that he's not in, Lake Forest is able to be getting some nice stops there on the defensive end.
As you said, Richardson is back in the ball game for Noah Hedrick. Christian Veers, sophomore out of LaGrange, Kentucky, also checks in, who played in 20 games a season ago, started in 5. That's Luke Arlington. Can't get it to go. He gets his own board.
Another offensive rebound there for Lake Forest. They have a little more size than Wheaton. See if they can use that third advantage here.
Popovich puts up the shot, somehow bangs it in.
And that's exactly what you want to do. Go up strong, take the open lane. Lake Forest brings this game to within 6.
And they themselves are on an 11-0 run in the last 3 minutes, having made 3 out of their last 4 field goals. Richardson steps back for 2, leaves that one short.
Very impressive on-ball defense from Nicholas Popovich. Soren Richardson, tough shot. That one's not going to go very often.
Marchand with a nice pass and the finish by Popovich.
Beautiful read by Popovich. Again, with that backdoor cut. Wheaton just a split second too late to react.
7 points for Nicholas Popovich. Richardson maneuvers in traffic and he draws contact.
You see the screen and roll there. Richardson making the read, deciding to go up with it, draws the foul.
And Richardson so good last year, as you said, averaged 23 points, first in the CCIW, 9th in all of Division III. Named D3Hoops.com second team All-Region A, and then this season a preseason All-American.
Absolutely, and then those accolades right there are exactly why teams are going to be focusing on him a lot this season. So I wouldn't be surprised if he finds it harder to come by baskets than he did last season.
Richardson, first Wheaton player selected to the All-American team since Nami Edom back in the 2021 season. He's one of 4 CCIW players honored, the other 3 being Ryan Johnson of Carthage, Colton Van Lanningham of North Park, and Josh Fridman of Illinois Wesleyan. Rodriguez trying to bully his way to the rack, can't get the shot to fall.
That was a nice play by Rodriguez, and if you're Wheaton, you got to close off the baseline.
Vanderwood, they wanted a travel on Kyan Vanderwood. Martin twirls inside and greases the cylinder.
That was definitely a travel by Vanderwood. Wheaton lucked out that the refs didn't call that, but Martin with a nice bucket.
12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on 68% true shooting for Devin Martin, who last year averaged 6, 4, and 4. First Wheaton player to lead the CCIW in assists as Lake Forest turns it over with Alex Brown.
Beautiful pass there by Christian Rodriguez, worthy of Nikola Jokic, I might say, but Alex Brown not able to corral that one. It's Lake Forest's first turnover of the night. Second turnover.
What do you mean in terms of Nikola Jokic?
Just a great read. He's a center, able to find someone cutting towards the basket, fitting it through that tight window.
And Vanderwood sinks yet another tray. His second three-pointer of the day, he's at 6 points.
And he's going to be one of those guys that picks up the slack when Soren Richardson is guarded too closely, as we saw in the game against Concordia, Wisconsin. Leading scorer for Wheaton with 26 points.
Rodriguez trying to bully inside. Richardson trying to provide the double team. The ball refuses to go in. Marchand almost got the rebound, but it's in the hands of Devin Martin. Here's Christian Veers. Yes, sir.
Very well done by Devin Martin, looking up, catching Christian Veers in transition. And going back to that last Lake Forest steal from Devin Martin.
Martin transition, able to finish.
Lake Forest with some turnovers there. They brought it to within 4, but Wheaton now on an 11-0 run. Basketball is a game of runs, and we've definitely seen that so far this game.
And we previewed a little bit of Lake Forest. You said it last year, 14-13, 10-6 in the Midwest. As you see that shot by Christian Veers.
And just a great find from Devin Martin. And then you see Martin here creating another play with a tough finish.
But going back to Lake Forest, you said it before, they were in the Midwest Tournament Finals. They should have not been in that position because they began the season 3-8 and then went 11-5 since January 4th. They defeated Beloit in the regular season finale despite trailing that game by 16 points. Then they defeated Monmouth in the Midwest Tourney semifinals despite trailing by 13. Eventually, their season came to an end against Grinnell, but Lake Forest really exceeding a lot of expectations that last year.
Absolutely a team that fights. They're not going to give up even when faced with an early deficit like tonight.
Marchand goes back outside. Favia for 3, rings out.
Open shot, that's exactly the kind of shot you want to see if you're Lake Forest. Just not hitting for them right now.
Right now, Wheaton 13 of 22, shooting at 59%. Veers, a corner 3. Too much gas.
And you saw Ben Bokikio with the defensive pressure on Soren Richardson. Richardson was able to find the open man. Rodriguez fouled on that play by Christian Veers. That was Marchand on the nice pass, and just too much contact. It looks like that's going to be ruled a shooting foul as Rodriguez was going up for the shot.
Senior played in 18 games last year, started in 11, averaged 12.7 rebounds and assists, the leading rebounder on the team with 7. Also going to be 5th in Midwest, shot 62% on true shooting. This is a Lake Forest team, given what they were able to do last year, some of the players that they lost, but some of the players that they also add, they're picked to finish 4th in Midwest Conference. Just like Wheaton, they're also picked to finish 4th in the CCIW.
These are two teams that are looking to recover from some so-so seasons the past couple of years. Hungry to prove themselves with these new additions. We talk about Wheaton, a very young team. The starting lineup tonight, their oldest player was Soren Richardson, who's a junior. Then they have 2 sophomores and 2 freshmen.
Kyle Neves and Noah Hedrick, who were starters last year, playing off the bench. Coach Auer commented that he wanted Neves to play off the bench. Plays really well in that spark plug role. Vanderwood muscles, and he's called for a travel.
Yeah, that's the correct call. Vanderwood, a couple extra steps in there. Very minimal contact by Lake Forest.
Rodriguez gets help inside. Alex Brown trying to scoop it up, but he can't finish. As we got ourselves a loose ball foul called against Brown.
Yeah, I compared Christian Rodriguez to Nikola Jokic. And if you look at that last play, that's exactly what the Nuggets do with Nikola Jokic. They get them the ball high up, and then they have guys that cut down to the basket. And in this case, that was Alex Brown from Lake Forest, able to have a lot of empty room in the back, on the back cut, just not able to get the ball and finish on that one.
And I'm assuming for Christian Rodriguez, really good at setting those dribble handoffs.
Absolutely. He's also good at finding the open man, as we've already seen tonight.
He's guarding Noah Hedrick as we speak. 7:10 left to go in what's been an explosive first half. The Thunder have a 14-point lead. Richardson off the screen. Leaves it short. Hedrick gets the rebound.
That's the most space Richardson has seen all night.
Martin shaking bait, was trying to go back to Soren Richardson, picked off by Coltrane Marchand.
Martin probably should have just gone up. It was I could see what he was going for.
Rodriguez, fast break, opportunity, bangs it in.
Lake Forest getting in the paint, getting some nice shot opportunities there off the transition.
That was only the 3rd turnover for Wheaton. Lake Forest has turned over 4 times in this ballgame. Richardson near the low post, picked up by Marchand. Now it's Neves in the corner for 3. Unable to fall.
A brilliant cross-court read from Richardson there, finding Neves open in the corner.
Wheaton scoreless in the last minute, 50 seconds. That was a deep 3 by Forowitz, but he can't get it to fall. Hedrick slices back out to Devin Martin.
You see immediately Soren Richardson is doubled the second he gets close to the free throw line.
Vanderwood, defense is in rotation. 3 goes in and out.
Good ball movement from Wheaton. That one just not quite able to fall.
Forowitz rises up on the mid-range jumper. Too much sauce.
Forowitz, as we mentioned, scored 27 points last game. Only 2 so far tonight, looking to get involved in the action there.
Leading scorer for Wheaton, Soren Richardson and Carson Greer, each with 7. Richardson launches and connects.
And he'll take that all day. And if you're Lake Forest, that was Christian Rodriguez and Coltrane Marchand on the defensive possession. You've got to get up there, go over the screen, and put a face in Soren Richardson's hand. Rely on the help defense to help you out because you cannot give him that much space on the three-pointer.
Forowitz maneuvers as Vanderwood picks up the defensive rebound. Here comes Wheaton on the fast break. Vanderwood lost the ball, no travel, and a foul called against Lake Forest.
Yeah, and you see Wheaton pick up a lot of fast break opportunities, or rather transition opportunities. As Lake Forest just not picking up the ball far up the court. They're waiting until about the free throw line or three-point line to pick up the ball, and by that time, Wheaton already has too much momentum. So if you're Lake Forest, you want to stop the ball earlier.
Marko Vishnevak and Nicholas Popovich are back in the game for Lake Forest. Vanderwood in the Dunkers' corner, guarded by Forowitz. Under 5 minutes to go, the Thunder are up by 15. Vanderwood spinning, maneuvers. Too much.
A fantastic rip-through move. So you see Lake Forest on the transition now.
Popovich, he wants some muscle, but he can't get that one to go either. It's taken away. How about the steal by Popovich?
Lake Forest, they're getting good shot opportunities so far. They're just not quite falling. Shooting 9 for 25. It's an open 3.
That's Arrington, bags out.
And that's another good shot opportunity, wide open on the three-pointer.
And the thing is, Lake Forest has yet to make a 3. They're now 0 of 7 from downtown.
Yeah, that's obviously the big difference in this game. Wheaton 7 for 12.
Nebs on the 45 cut, leaves it short. Rodriguez trying to pick the DHO. Instead, Vanderwood pickpockets him. Kyan Vanderwood, fast break. Is it an and one?
They're going to count it.
It is.
Wheaton with the numbers here. Vanderwood taking in isolation. Yeah, the reason that they didn't call that a charge is because Vishnevak for Lake Forest was still moving when Vanderwood made contact.
Kyan Vanderwood last year, 10.6 rebounds and assists on 56% true shooting. But if you aggregate those stats, take his final 9 games, he averaged 17 points, 9 rebounds, had 5 double-doubles.
He's really been stepping into his role on this Wheaton Thunder team, especially considering last season he averaged 9.6 points per game.
Sophomore out of Caledonia, Michigan. Coach Schauer high on him as well as Devin Martin for growing so much in the offseason. Saying that those guys are a lot more comfortable. They know what the expectation is. Forowitz buries a three-pointer.
A great move by Forowitz with the pump fake, sidestep, nails the 3. And once again, Christian Rodriguez with a cross-court find.
Martin slithers and he's fouled. And on that last play for Lake Forest, that's their first three-pointer of the first half.
We'll check out this play from Devin Martin here. Had that attempted screen, but he's able to make the nice read. Had a lane to the basket, draws the foul.
Martin pretty much started in every single game, minus senior day. 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists on 46% true shooting. His dad, Kevin Martin, served as Devin's head coach in high school. He's also the head coach at Westerville Central for 6 years as he knocks down the second free throw. Now with 8 points in this ballgame, second leading scorer behind Soren Richardson, who has 10.
You mentioned Devin Martin. He was also the leading assister on Wheaton's team last year by a long shot, averaging almost 4 per game.
And he's first Wheaton player to lead the CCIW in assists since Tyson Cruikshank back in the 2022-23 season at 5.2. Lake Forest almost turns it over. And they'll officially roll the takeaway.
Popovich there with a bit of an errant pass, but you'll love to see the hustle from Popovich, getting back up, trying to make the save. You see Devin Martin here taking the point guard role, that coming from his role as the leading assister last year. He's got great court vision.
As Richardson, he's fouled. They're going to call it against Alex Forowitz.
And if you're Lake Forest, it's tough to find that line between physical defense and fouling. Too much contact there. And Wheaton is now in the bonus.
And it seems like for Wheaton this year, a lot more ball handlers than just Devin Martin and Soren Richardson to an extent, as well as Kyan Vanderwood. They have Reed Olson, for goodness sake, as well as Carson Greer, who played point guard. We haven't even talked about Carson Greer, for goodness sake, because of how well Wheaton has played with Soren Richardson.
Yeah, they're just have so much talent, especially compared to the last couple of years where perhaps not quite as many ball handlers. This year, they're overloaded with ball handlers.
Favia, he's guarded by Soren Richardson. Popovich, 8 on the shot clock. Attracts the double team. They try to feed it to Rodriguez, and he's rewarded for the bucket.
And Rodriguez sensing that Popovich was in trouble there with a nice cut to the basket. And Lake Forest has been really good at that. Cutting to the basket when there's too much defensive pressure.
As Devin Martin, he'll head to the free throw line himself, a blocking foul against Lake Forest.
And Wheaton in their game against Concordia, Wisconsin, wasn't great from the free throw line. They shot 16 for 24, which is 67%.
And for Wheaton, in that game against Concordia, Wisconsin, 126 out of the 200 minutes went to freshmen and sophomores. Coach Jauer is really relying on his young players to step up.
Yeah, that's just amazing, and it's great to see these guys already getting so much playing time on the floor. By the time they get to become juniors and seniors, they'll have so much built-in chemistry from all this time together. It'll definitely pay off.
Brady Winga and Carson Greer made the start for the Thunder. 2 freshmen in the starting combination. Under 2 minutes to go, Lake Forest trails by 17, 44-27. Popovich, 7 on the shot clock for Luke Arrington. Popovich being hounded. What a nice pass to Arrington. Can't finish and a block. A Thunder on the other's possession. Vanderwood is blocked himself by Forowitz. Forowitz instantly possession, and he's fouled by Kyle Neves.
And even though that possession didn't end well for Lake Forest, this is the last play here with a foul by Neves. 3-on-1 fast break for Lake Forest. Not much Neves can do about that one. The last possession for Lake Forest, they had a really nice back cut on that play when they didn't have much time left in the shot clock. They made something happen, and that's something Wheaton's got to be careful about. They've had great aggressive on-ball defense, haven't allowed Lake Forest to have anything easy inside. But at the same time, if you get too aggressive, that leads to easy back cuts for Lake Forest, and they've been taking advantage of those.
Forowitz, one of the best free throw shooters in the country, 92%, which is the second best in Lake Forest single season. Only George Harrison is higher at the #1 spot.
That's so impressive. Most players can't even shoot 90% when they're by themselves in the gym. So to shoot that well in game situations, extremely impressive.
Richardson in the dunker's corner, bangs it in.
Yeah, and a bad defensive miscommunication there from Lake Forest left Richardson wide open.
That was Favia who somehow bangs that one home. First field goal for Anthony Favia.
Tough left-handed finish there.
Martin using the screen by Winga. Martin, and he's fouled by Christian Rodriguez.
Devin Martin with a good read. Carson Greer was rolling off the screen. If you're Devin Martin, though, you want to go straight up, not lean to the side there. He drew the foul, but got to embrace the contact.
10 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal for Devin Martin. And Drew, what do you like so much about Devin Martin entering his sophomore year? Seems like he's grown a lot.
Yeah, he's just been doing a great job getting involved, setting up the offense, and he's not one of Wheaton's main scoring threats, but because he's not, he's able to find himself more open a lot than Wheaton's bigger scorers, and he's able to convert those opportunities, which is great.
He's now at 12 points alongside Soren Richardson. Both of those guys leading all scorers in scoring. Popovich, and it's going to be a turnover.
That's another thing I see about this Wheaton team. There's Soren Richardson, and then there's so many players that can step up on any given night to help out on the scoring side. I mean, you got Vanderwood, you got Devin Martin, scored 12 tonight. Carson Greer, obviously. Kyle Nebbs can catch fire from 3 at any time.
I believe the term for that is scoring gravity. A lot of these Wheaton players have large scoring gravities.
Once again, this set has happened multiple times this game with Vanderwood and Richardson on the same side.
And Richardson, that 3 pounds out. Lake Forest can hold for the last shot, trailing by 17. Wheaton led by as many as 18 points when they were up 40-22 with 3:58 to go. Foresters have never had the lead in this ball game. Rodriguez trying to take care of Brady Wing and does exactly that.
Tough play by Christian Rodriguez.
Richardson gets one more shot at the buzzer. Can't get it to go. The Wheaton Thunder 15-point lead. They're up 48-33. Drew, what are your initial thoughts headed into halftime?
I mean, Wheaton is just such a fun team to watch this year. This is their home opener, and they've been running up and down, making plays on the defensive and offensive side of things. And really, that's the main difference between Lake Forest and Wheaton right now is Wheaton's hitting their shots, and Lake Forest is just not. And part of that's been because of the defensive pressure that Wheaton has applied, but Lake Forest is applying that pressure too. Wheaton just shooting better right now. That's all there is to it.
And we'll bring the start of the second half after these messages and a word from the CCIW Network.
Hello, I'm Terrence Campbell, and I have the privilege of serving as the Director of Graduate Admissions here at Wheaton College. Now, we get it. For adult learners, juggling work, family, and church commitments while trying to answer the deeper call is no small feat. That's precisely why we've tailored many of our programs to seamlessly integrate into your life, enabling you to focus your talents to make a difference in a world that needs it. You'll hear directly from some of our students sharing their own experiences of how they have successfully managed to weave graduate studies into their own busy lives.
I have 3 kiddos, and so I also work full-time, so it's been really awesome to be able to learn and to be able to take in all this information and put it into practice, like in my current job, in my current position in ministry, while learning at the same time and working towards my degree. There would be no way that I would be able to come to all the in-person classes as much as I love being on campus.
I had been involved in music for a long time, but have transitioned to do more and more ministry, and felt that I needed to kind of round out my education in that area. Obviously, the modality of the hybrid format was really appealing because I'm still working full-time. So to be able to go into an environment where I could continue working full-time but also study in the online format, but also have the on-campus experience from time to time was really attractive.
When I came back to this program, I'd been out of school for 34 years. That's pretty scary. The hybrid model, I do think was essential for me. As much as I love to come on campus and do campus classes, and I see a real advantage to that, that is not always possible with the other things that I have going on in my life.
There's 5 of us that actually are staying together in a house, an Airbnb, and that's been great because we're having dinner together and we're having breakfast together, and that element of of learning together, and then processing that out loud conversationally has been just fantastic.
In other classes, we still get to know each other through video calls and things like that I do feel like I have a special bond with these people. They're all across the country. So it's special to know that I have friends that are in different states that I can connect with and call upon and get their input on different stuff.
About 50 times since I've started the program, I've said to myself, why didn't I do this sooner? It's been enriching spiritually, it's been enriching personally, it's been challenging academically. It's required me to use some muscles I haven't used since a long time ago when I was in school. And it has just been such a rich experience that I've repeatedly said to myself, I can't believe I didn't do this sooner. Just jump in, just do it. I think you will find this investment in your professional development, your academic development, and most significantly, spiritual development is totally worth it.
It is really rewarding to be able to invest into your education again. And so it's something that is worth it. It does take time, but it is time that's been really, really well spent for me, as well as I'm seeing it in my family, I'm seeing it in my current ministry. I'm learning stuff that I'm actually able to apply right now, which is really, really special.
If you are feeling called to this, if you're feeling led to this, do it. God will provide. The faculty here is willing to help. There will be a learning curve, but it's doable.
If you are embarking upon a new career path, a seasoned professional, or simply sharpening skills for your current ministry context, Wheaton College Graduate School is here for you. We have a variety of flexible learning options, from 100% online programs to hybrid formats that blend on-campus intensives with online coursework, not to mention modular courses that fit any schedule. Whether you're drawn to programs such as biblical and theological studies, evangelism, or leadership, our programs are built to align with the dynamic needs of our world. I encourage you to head over to our website, dive into the full array of programs we offer, and see how you can further your calling with us. May God bless you as you seek to discern next steps in your journey.
In the beginning, God created. He created them. As God's image bearers, we are offered a sacred opportunity to reflect God's attributes. Through His inspiration, we embark on a journey of discovery, learning how He has gifted us to imagine, experiment, and explore. We embrace the mystery of the yet to be and seek to bring the unknown to light. These acts of creativity reflect our Maker, and so we become His reflections. Author, sculptor, weaver, orchestrator, gardener, craftsman, designer. And yet, we ourselves are unfinished works, being developed, inspired, and supported. To lean into these creative endeavors, we must practice vulnerability, vision, discipline, and commitment. While art often emerges quickly, it takes a lifetime to achieve the works that God has for us. The creator's journey requires both collaboration and solitude, time for rough ideas and polished performances. Artists have a special calling to articulate God's glory for the world to experience and understand through a human lens. This is the sacred call that compels us to live for Christ and His kingdom. At Wheaton, you will find a Christ-centered community of artistic and academic excellence. It is a grace-filled campus that is designed to nurture your skills and scholarship to pursue His calling. Whether you're in the classroom, the art studio, on stage, in chapel, alone, or with close friends, you'll flourish at Wheaton College. Consider your artistic potential and how it could change the world. How has God called you to reflect His glory? Explore the arts at Wheaton and rise to your God-given potential.
This isn't a traditional college orientation. It's a rite of passage. You're entering a new season of life where the terrain is unfamiliar, the path uncharted, the friendships not yet formed.
You ready?
It's a time to explore, to learn new skills, to build connections, embrace uncertainty, navigate challenges, and discover your limits. But never alone, because together you'll walk alongside him.
All right, you ready?
This is so much more than a college orientation. You're becoming a new person in a new season, one of adventure, transition, and Christ-centered community. So consider this your invitation to Wheaton Passage.
You ready?
You're ready.
Going to a Christian college was important to me because I wanted that community of like-minded believers.
Being free to express my spiritual journey really helped me grow and foster a strong relationship with God.
Wheaton was willing to meet me where I was at in my faith journey. I was able to search for answers here, and they had answers to give me.
I thought coming to Wheaton that I would meet just a bunch of Christians who were like me. So when I got here, I was really surprised to find so many Christians from so many different walks of life who relate to God and worship in very different ways.
Being able to realize the uniqueness of my faith while still recognizing beauty in other people's has been the most impactful way that my studies have shaped my Christian faith.
My faith has been enriched in more ways than I could have imagined here at Wheaton. I will continue to serve Christ, whether it be overseas ministry or whether it be administration in a church. I'm excited to continue to walk through those doors.
I knew that I wanted to be a part of a community where I could grow in my faith with other people who have the same goals in mind as me. Wheaton will grow you spiritually and will give you community that really does want to walk alongside you. That's not just something that they throw on their taglines. Like, in my experience, that's something that's actually lived out here.
Welcome back to the start of the second half here from King Arena on the CCIW network between the Wheaton Thunder and the Lake Forest Foresters. alongside Drew Swisson on Maiden Kong. And Drew, we knew Wheaton, they had plenty of toys, a lot of new offensive weapons. Defensively, they've also played pretty well. They're up by 15.
Absolutely, and if you're Wheaton so far, this second half, you just keep doing what you're doing. They did a great job on offense, obviously. On defense, they're applying a lot of pressure, not letting Lake Forest get anything too easy. If you're Lake Forest, you're down 15 at halftime, but this game is by no means over. There's a couple of things Lake Forest can do to try to work back from this deficit. On the defensive side, they want to limit perimeter shooting from Wheaton. Wheaton was 7 for 13 from 3 in the first half. And then the offensive side of things, a lot of their buckets came from dribble drives, which is fine, but that's not the most efficient way to score. I'd like to see a little more ball movement from Lake Forest. Their assist to turnover ratio was 1, 7 assists, 7 turnovers. Wheaton, on the other hand, 10 assists, 4 turnovers. Wheaton's been doing a lot better job at efficient ball movement, which results in open shots and more points.
Devin Martin, Soren Richardson, the leading scorers for the Thunder, each with 12 points. And then on Lake Forest's side, Christian Rodriguez, he has 13. Carson Greer, I don't want to say a quiet 7 because he has a lot of unassisted assists. These are things that normal box scores cannot measure, are the unassisted assists, the scoring gravity for each of these guys.
Absolutely. And then another thing here is Lake Forest, they scored 24 out of their 33 points in the paint in the first half. They only shot 1 for 8 from 3. So obviously, if they want to get back in this game, they're going to have to start hitting from downtown.
Lake Forest dropped their home opener against North Park, looking to avoid an 0-2 start of the season. And in that game, they gave up 93 points. They're on pace to give up 90 points if Wheaton puts up another 48 in the second half.
Already some nice ball movement. A lot of dribble handoffs.
Forowitz takes the mid-range J, shivers it home.
Smooth jumper from Forowitz. That's exactly the kind of shot you want to see if you're Lake Forest.
7 points, a rebound, 2 assists, and a block for Alex Forowitz, senior of Lake Forest, Illinois. Richardson takes the 3, cans the triple.
The Thunder picking up right where they left off, and Richardson will take that shot all day.
Soren Richardson at 15 points in this ball game, as Wheaton has buried 8 3-pointers as well. Forowitz denied. Lake Forest still has possession. Shot clock does not reset.
Greer rising up for the block there. That's his second of the game. Protecting the rim for Wheaton as the tallest player.
Vishnevak, he draws the foul. That's also a shooting foul, so he'll go to the line.
And I apologize there. That was not Greer with the block. That was Brady Wingya there rising up.
Vishnevak, 2 points, a rebound, and no assists in the first half. Last year, shot 43% from the charity stripe. Sophomore out of McHenry, Illinois, career high 7 points against Dayspring Bible on November 26, 2024.
And if you look at Lake Forest box score so far, 29 out of their 37 points have come from 3 players. They're really going to need to see some more roster depth getting involved.
And in their last game against North Park, 54 of their points came from Forowitz and Rodriguez. Both combined for 27. Wingya draws contact, he's fouled.
Way to fight on the boards there from Wingya. As you see Devin Martin puts up the shot. Wingya just grabbing position, getting position inside, then using his long arms to grab the rebound.
Brady Wingya, a 2024 6'8" state champion. Took his school to back-to-back state championships, winning 1. Coach Schauer talked about Wingya bringing size, physicality. He's unlike any other player on this team. Freshman out of Lone Tree, Colorado, went to Valor Christian High School.
And him and Carson Greer are bringing the size that Wheaton was really missing last year. They came out with a lot of hustle and did their best to prevent the tall guys from the other team scoring, but really, that's hard to do when you don't have height.
3 misses for Bokikiba.
Wheaton with the pace.
Greer almost taken away, and then instead a reach-in foul.
Greer will take that one-on-one matchup all day. Looks like that was Alex Brown. A little contact on the arm.
Richardson, quick shoot, nothing but net.
Oh, that's a tough fadeaway shot off the inbounds play. Wheaton executing that one.
Rodriguez trying to pound his way against Winga. Now tracks 2 with Carson Greer. Fights, can't finish. The push shot by Alex Brown, also no good. And Wheaton comes up with it.
And Matt Griggs, coach for Lake Forest, looking a little disappointed there on the sidelines. He much would have rather seen Alex Brown gather the ball and go up strong rather than try to tip it in.
Another foul going to be called against Lake Forest, stays on the sink.
This one here, nice find from Devin Martin. Late call from the ref, and Winga is back on the line.
5 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, and 1 steal for Brady Winga in his first ever career collegiate game against Concordia, Wisconsin. Now, speaking of the other freshman, Carson Greer, rumor has it that his brother, Kyle Greer, they're both twin brothers. Kyle wanted to come to Wheaton, and Carson wanted to continue playing with his twin brother, which is why Carson came here to Wheaton.
That's awesome, wanting to see brothers stick together.
For Carson Greer, a lot better of a basketball prospect. He also plays baseball, so he'll also be on the baseball team here at Wheaton. Won the state title, and every year of high school, Alex Brown denied by Carson Greer. Christian Rodriguez able to get the ball off the steal from Marchand. As Richardson almost taken away and still taken away by Lake Forest, as Alex Forwoods finally finishes after that chaotic sequence.
A bit sloppy there, and Richardson, probably an ill-advised pass down on the ground on your own end. Devin Martin with a double team here.
Martin and a jump ball. Wheaton's going to retain possession.
And just got trapped there. Solid defense from Lake Forest. That was Vishnevak, Forowitz. There looks like they're going to try the same thing again as Devin Martin's going to wait. Pass it off to Vanderwood.
Richardson, a corner 3, it got denied. It was blocked on the play by Marchand, who got a piece of it.
And Marchand, last game against North Park, 9 points, 10 rebounds. Very physical player.
Winga, easy finish. As Coach Schauer calls timeout, 57-39. The Wheaton Thunder have the lead. Drew, what do you like so far from Wheaton entering the second half?
I mean, I really like that screen action there on the inbounds play. All of Lake Forest players were looking at Soren Richardson. Brady Winga turned around and was wide open under the hoop. And that's kind of emblematic of what Wheaton's been doing all game. They've been using Soren Richardson to draw attention away from everybody else and get open shots.
And for Wheaton last year, a bit of a paradox given how they had the leading scorer in the CCIW, Soren Richardson, who averaged 23 points. They also had the leading assister in Devin Martin, as you said, yet they still finished in last place.
Yeah, part of that was due to their lack of size, as we've mentioned earlier. And then part of that was also due to their lack of depth. Quite frankly, they didn't have many experienced players behind Soren Richardson, or really, I mean, they had a couple of seniors, but they were just really lacking cohesion, and it just didn't really come together for them at all. Finished with a 4-12 CCW conference record, but it looks like this year they've got a lot of chemistry. Freshmen are coming in and playing in a similar way to the way they were playing last season, and it seems like it's all coming together so far.
And for Wheaton, they're one of 2 CCIW squads to return their entire starting 5 back. The other one is Carthage, and we know all about Carthage. They made it to the NCAA tournament. They have high expectations to potentially compete for a national championship, but Wheaton, they may be on the rise. Of course, the starting 5 for Carthage, the Johnson brothers, Ryan Johnson, AJ Johnson, Griffin Don, Riley Brooks, and AJ Williams, as there's a foul on Wheaton's end.
Oh, no,
an offensive foul against Lake Forest.
The ref called a carry there on Vishnevak. I did see it there, but that's a pretty rare call. You don't see that too much. As Lake Forest coming back with the press and creating yet another turnover.
Here's Vishnovac able to bang it in. Lake Forest did this a lot against North Park, especially in the second half.
Yeah, they really only did this once in the first half. I was kind of surprised that they didn't keep doing it because it kind of worked, and creating another turnover there is huge.
Richardson finds Greer. Carson Greer gets the friendly roll.
Lake Forest was crying out for a travel there. Not too sure if there's a stutter step there, but good job breaking the press from Wheaton.
19 points for Soren Richardson. Rodriguez paired up against Carson Greer, gets his own high sky hook.
I mean, no, even the big guys on Wheaton just can't quite match up with Christian Rodriguez. He's got so much physicality banging around there in the post.
15 points for Rodriguez, shooting 7 of 12 from the field. Nebbs for 3. 6 the triple.
Instincts from Soren Richardson there to pass it to Nebbs from the corner, knowing that he was the next guy open. Nebbs nails the 3.
Forowitz puts that one back in for Lake Forest. Both offenses trading blows here in half number 2. In fact, Lake Forest has made 3 of their last 4 field goals. Wheaton 4 of their last 5. Richardson will try. Springs out.
Both of these teams are relying on their transition game right now. Christian Rodriguez will take it here. He's been doing these dribble handoffs, backdoor cut opportunities all game.
As Rodriguez is fouled by Wheaton. Call down Soren Richardson.
You see he kind of does a fake dribble handoff there, and if the other defender doesn't pick him up or pressure him, then he just drives to the lane. And he's been really successful at drawing fouls or getting nice finishes.
15 points, 6 rebounds for Christian Rodriguez. Leading rebounder on the team from a season ago with 7, also going to be 5th out of the Midwest Conference. Playing in his 72nd game. Has scored a total of 750 career points.
And honestly, it's impressive that Rodriguez has managed to be so effective inside with Lake Forest only shooting 1 for 9 from 3. Wheaton hasn't had to think a lot about that 3-point game, but Rodriguez still managing to find success in the paint. Wheaton breaking this press, just lobbing passes across the court.
Martin, whip pass, Nebbs, a corner 3. Yes, sir!
Wheaton just does not miss from 3. Now 10 for 18 on the game. That's higher than Lake Forest's field goal percentage.
9 points for Kyle Nebbs, as Anthony Favia able to finish at the rack.
Lake Forest not going away, though. They're getting these points in transition, especially in the paint. Wheaton's a little weak there right now.
Nebbs, in and out.
Oh, the bench would have lost it there if he hit that one.
Forowitz almost put the ball on the ground. Back to Christian Rodriguez in the paint, and he bangs it in. He cannot be stopped in the second half.
Rodriguez taking advantage of a little mismatch there. Had Kyle Nebbs on him. And now 17 points for Rodriguez. Easily Lake Forest leading scorer.
He's now at 19 with the stats being updated. Martin, what a nice feed. Carson Greer greases the cylinder.
Beautiful find from Devin Martin. And honestly, if I was Lake Forest, I would go back to man defense because Wheaton's just kind of picking apart these holes in the zone.
Popovich can't get that one to go. Vanderwood on the fast break. Wheaton with numbers. Martin slithers. Nice pass to Greer.
What a play in transition from Devin Martin. A beautiful pass, knowing exactly where Carson Greer was on the court. Nice wraparound finish from Greer. Wheaton just playing really connect right now. It's a steal from Devin Martin.
Martin.
The Euro step
and he bangs it in. Timeout taken by Coach Griggs. It's a 20-point lead, the largest for Wheaton.
And Devin Martin has done that earlier this game with the read off the pass. A beautiful Euro step, silky smooth finger roll. Wheaton, as you said, largest lead of the game. And Lake Forest, I appreciate them trying something new in the second half, going to this full court press and 2-1-2 zone defense. But Wheaton has been able to pick it apart too easily by just lobbing passes across the court, and Lake Forest just hasn't been rotating fast enough, and that's how Wheaton's got these open threes.
Andrew, what do you think Lake Forest can do to get back to this ballgame? I know you trail by 20 points. It seems like everything you throw at Wheaton, they've been able to have a counter.
I would say, first of all, go back to main defense. And we see the replay here as Vanderwood dribbles up the court. Martin with that beautiful behind-the-back pass. Carson Greer, 6'8", got long arms with a nice finish. And yeah, if you're Lake Forest, you go back to main defense because this zone defense isn't working. I would keep up the press, though. They've created some turnovers because of it. But really, it all comes down to hitting shots. That's seems simple, but that's the main difference between Wheaton and Lake Forest right now, is that Lake Forest just hasn't been shooting well. They're shooting 20 for 45. That's their field goal percentage. Wheaton has a higher three-point percentage. So that's just never a good sign.
Well, Wheaton's 10 of 19 from downtown. Lake Forest, 1 of 9. They're shooting 11% from downtown, are the Foresters.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching Wheaton during halftime warm-ups, and they hit at least 10 threes combined as a team straight.
Rodriguez initiate the action with him. Can't get it to go.
If you give this Wheaton team too much space, they will make you pay.
Martin pounds out.
Again, they're going to get Christian Rodriguez up top here with a one-on-one isolation. Nebs is going to come over, see if he can help out.
Rotation. Favia for three from the top of the key. Sinks the triple.
And that's a tough situation because doubling Christian Rodriguez is not a bad move, but then you left number 5, Anthony Favia, wide open for the three. Lake Forest finally hits one. It's the first of the half, second of the game.
Nebs, he is feeling it.
And that wasn't even bad defense from Lake Forest. Nebs just, like you said, he's feeling it right now.
Kyle Nebs had 18 points off the bench against the Falcons. He now has 12. Favia responds with his own three-pointer.
I'm not sure what happened there with Wheaton in the defensive end, but another wide open three, and Lake Forest finally starting to take advantage of those.
Wheaton shooting 10 of 15, 67% in the second half. Lake Forest 8 of 15 at 53. 8 on the shot clock.
Wheaton running an isolation play for Soren Richardson. He's going to get doubled, though.
Fears. It's Kyle. Too much gas. Richardson the offensive rebound, and he draws the foul.
Yeah, Nebs with a tough shot. Nice closeout there from Christian Rodriguez. Richardson an offensive rebound, and pretty much every time Wheaton's been running these isolation plays for Soren Richardson, he's been getting double teamed, and that's probably what's going to happen to him the rest of the year, to be honest. With all the attention he's getting, averaging 23 points a game. That was 8th in D3. He's probably going to have to expect that a lot. His scoring averages, I would guess, will be down a little bit, but that's where he's got to rely on his teammates. He also has good situational awareness, too. He recognized he got doubled there, immediately threw it away instead of trying to force a shot.
And for both teams, Drew, you talked about Soren Richardson getting double teamed. Sometimes Wheaton will double Christian Rodriguez. If you double team, obviously the defense is forcing rotation. Talk to me, how does rotations work?
Well, if you're the one doubling someone on that side of the court, then everyone else has got to rotate over, because the hardest pass to make is a cross-court pass across all those defenders. So everyone's got to rotate over, and then when the ball gets passed out, you got to rotate back again. So it's really just about being on top of those. And that's something that actually Michael Jordan said. He actually wasn't really the fastest guy on the court, but he knew what he was supposed to do, and he was making his moves before he needed to do it. And that's really what it's all about in defense. It's about anticipating where the ball is going to go and moving there and being in your spot before the ball even reaches the player.
And both defenses last year, not particularly that good. Wheaton gave up 79 points, which was second to last in the CCIW. Lake Forest gave up 81 points, which was 7th out of the Midwest Conference. Favia contact, and he draws a foul.
Yeah, screen there. Devin Martin just gave Favia a lane. He took it. Well done drawing the foul. And Wheaton, they've been doing well overall so far on the defensive side of things. One thing they haven't been able to do very well is keep Lake Forest out of the paint. They've got 38 points inside the paint.
And would you attribute that to poor rotation, or what specifically?
Well, if you're in man defense like Wheaton is, you got to help on the drives. And they did that pretty well in the first half, I'll give them credit. But in the second half, it seems like they've slipped a little bit. Maybe they're getting tired or just losing their focus. But Lake Forest has been finding it really easy to just get inside the paint just off a dribble drive, not even off passes or cuts or anything like that.
Favia right now at 12 points in this ballgame. Vanderwood smothered, and he's contacted with a foul.
Vanderwood driving to the hoop with authority, recognizing 34 there, Chase Onovar was closing out off balance. No indecision, right to the hoop.
Right now, 4 players for Wheaton, and now 5 players for Wheaton are in double figures. Kyle Nabbs, Kyle Vanderwood, Devin Martin, Soren Richardson, and Carson Greer.
Yeah, and that's such a contrast to what we saw last season. Last season, Wheaton only had 3 players that averaged 10 points or more per game. And that was Soren Richardson with 23, and then
Noah Hedrick and Kyle Nabbs.
Noah Hedrick and Kyle Nabbs, and they were averaging 10 flat or close to 11, barely above 10. I think it's going to look a lot different for Wheaton this year with Soren Richardson receiving all that attention and then more depth on Wheaton's roster.
Marchand from the top of the key. Set up a DHO with Favia. 9 on the shot clock. Trying to drive inside. What a nice backdoor pass. And the finish by Nicholas Popovich.
Yeah, the awareness for Popovich to know he's being overplayed and to cut to the basket. Nice downhill motion from Lake Forest.
Lake Forest still in this weird pseudo zone. 15 on the shot clock for Kyan Vanderwood with a help from Bokikia as the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a turnover.
Yeah, this zone really has not been working well for Lake Forest, and Wheaton picked it apart there. The pass just wasn't quite able to get to Greer from Vanderwood. Just a little off target.
78-61. The Thunder have a 17-point lead. And there's a takeaway. Carson Greer able to steal it. Before the Forsters take it back, Alex Forowitz, all gas, no brakes, and he stuffs it.
Yeah, and Forowitz there, right in the middle of the passing lane. Very predictable pass from Marta, unfortunately. He was Wheaton's leading assister last year. He was also their leading turnover, which is sometimes what happens if you're the leading assister. You take a lot of risks. But that one was just too predictable.
Another 3 by Favia. Clings off the iron.
Man, if he had hit that 3, that really would have changed the momentum, brought this lead back down to 12. Favia would have hit his third 3, but just a little short.
Forsters 4 out of their last 6 field goals have been made. Vanderwood twirling, and he greases the cylinder.
Yeah, he's just so elusive when he gets going. Nice spin move.
For Kyan Vanderwood, he is at 13 points. 11 on the shot clock. Too much gas. Harvin able to finish it in. As a timeout is taken. Wheaton still holding on to a 15-point lead. 9:03 left to go. Andrew, what do you like from Lake Forest?
Yeah, I mean, Christian Rodriguez was out for that last stretch, but they were still able to score. I think they've really improved their ball movement this second half. That's something they didn't really have that much in the first half, but because they didn't have very many assists in the first half. They only had 7, but this time they're able to get a little more movement going, and that was Onovar there with the nice positioning on the offensive rebound. Nice pump fake, able to get that in.
And if we can preview the CCIW a little bit, obviously a lot of drastic changes going on. Illinois Wesleyan went all the way to the Sweet 16. The CCIW sent 2 teams in the NCAA tournament. It'd be Illinois Wesleyan and Carthage. Well, a lot of changing pieces. Carthage is probably the only one that retains their continuity. As we said before, Wheaton not too far behind with their entire starting 5 intact, plus adding other players. You never know. Wheaton could be a threat. They're only picked 4th in the CCIW, but if you talk to any of the CCIW coaches, they say do not trust the coaches poll.
I could definitely see Wheaton making a run in the conference tournament and earning that automatic bid. But if it doesn't happen next year, it's no big deal because no one on this starting lineup is a senior. So Wheaton doesn't really have a lot of pressure this year. Didn't go great for them last season, so really the only way they can go is up.
Wheaton put up 48 points in the first half. They already have 32 in half number 2 as Reed Olson is in the ball game.
Wheaton once again using these cross-court passes, just lobbing it over the Lake Forest defenders. It's been pretty effective for breaking that press.
And Lake Forest resets to a man-to-man defense. 9 on the shot clock. Richardson with the left hand, able to bang it in.
And that's textbook from Richardson. Immediately pump fake when he gets to the perimeter, getting his defender a little off balance, and the strong drive to the rim and the finish.
21 points for Soren Richards, and what a nice pass. And it's Chase Hanavar on the finish.
Yeah, textbook from Hanavar with a perfect roll. Nice find, too, from Lake Forest.
Vanderwood, some help defense, Neves. It looks like we got an offensive foul called against Kyan Vanderwood for pushing a Lake Forest player.
Yeah, that probably would have been better off as a no call, but he did knock him over. And going back to that Lake Forest press, I'll be interested to see they have 2 guys pressuring the ball on one side of the court. I think they should have some players in the middle trying to pick off these passes because Wheaton's gotten used to doing that same motion time and time again. So if they get someone trying to interrupt those passing lanes, might throw Wheaton off.
Forowitz will fire. Alex Forowitz clings out. Greer turning on the accelerator, but he can't finish.
And here's Forowitz. He had a big game last game against North Park. Hasn't got as involved, though.
A 3, and it is buried by Ben Bokikia.
Wheaton can't get lax here. They have a 12-point lead, but Lake Forest energy's picking up. The momentum's starting to swing. Bench is yelling defense.
Richardson, rather it's Kyan Vanderwood, gets his own rebound, ball out of bounds, and will stay with Wheaton.
Vanderwood trying that Euro step again, fighting for the offensive board.
Devin Martin to trigger for Wheaton. Richardson lost the ball, and it's going to be a turnover. That's now the 11th turnover for Wheaton. Lake Forest has turned over 10 times in this ball game. Lake Forest 5-0 run in the last minute, 25 seconds. So slowly trying to chip at that lead. Rodriguez, bit of a interesting matchup with Brady Winga as Vishnanak able to bury that mid-range J.
And Lake Forest is coming on the brink of bringing this game within 10 for the first time since early on in the first half as that ball is tipped.
Vishnanak fouled.
Vishnevak not happy with himself. As you see that ball right there is tipped. Vishnevak picks it up. He wishes he had gone up with a shot instead of trying to dish it off. Dishing it off was the right move, but if he had gone up with a shot, he would have been on the line for free throws.
Winga gets a piece of it. It should stay with Lake Forest, and it does.
As you mentioned before, Lake Forest with some incredible comebacks in their conference tournament last season, an improbable run to their conference tournament championship where they eventually lose, but this team clearly does not give up. They're still fighting, even though they've been losing by double digits for most of this game.
Yeah, they trailed by as many as 20 points. Rodriguez with a hook, can't get it to go. 74-54 was the largest lead for Wheaton, the largest deficit for Lake Forest with 12:22 left to go in the second half.
Wheaton's just got to settle down, get into their offensive set here. Richardson with a one-on-one opportunity.
Now he gets double teamed and picked off by Vishnevak. One-on-one fast break. Marco Vishnevak, yes sir! It's a 9-0 run for the Foresters, and all of a sudden a one-possession game.
And Lake Forest is hitting their stride. They're doing a fantastic job of turning defense into offense. That's how they've got a lot of the points on these last possessions.
Vanderwood maneuvers. He wants his own hook shot, can't get it to go. Forowitz with the defensive rebound.
Wide open shot opportunity just didn't fall.
As that time Forowitz airballs the 3.
Yeah, he was in his stride there. Vanderwood was not expecting it.
But let's give a lot of credit to the Forcers. 9-0 run in the last 2 minutes and 42 seconds, an 11-2 run in the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, and a lot of turnovers for the Thunder recently, which has not been helping them out, and they've really been not crumbling under the pressure, but cracking slightly. Lake Forest has exposed a little bit of those weaknesses that this team has.
Bokikio guarding Soren Richardson. Richardson draws the foul and a wedgie. The ball gets stuck at the rack.
To be honest, Richardson was bailed out a little bit with that one. There was some contact, but he kind of just threw that one up there. Got the foul call, though, heading to the line.
Of course, those who know Wheaton basketball will know the different adjectives and descriptions to describe Soren Richardson: a superstar, a closer, gifted player, whatever you want to call it. Soren Richardson, the real deal here at Wheaton.
Yeah, and despite the fact that Lake Forest has been double teaming him pretty much every time he gets the ball, he's still leading this Wheaton team with 22 points now after that free throw.
So timeout taken on the floor. It's a 10-point game, 5:34 left to go. Drew, what does Lake Forest need to continue to do to get back into this ball game?
I mean, they've been doing, you got to hand it to them, they've been doing a fantastic job pressuring Wheaton, forcing turnovers, and scoring points off those turnovers. So they just got to keep up the offensive pressure, and really it comes down to whether they can hit these shots later on in the half, because that's really what's been missing with them this whole game, is they just haven't been as good of a shooting team as Wheaton. So they really need some of these shots to fall. Like we saw Alex Forowitz airball that three, and those are the kind of shots they need to hit if they want to stay in this game.
And I just want to mention Devin Martin, 14 points, 11 assists. That is his first career double-double. Also a career high in assists for Martin.
I got to say, double-double with points and assists is so much more rare than a double-double with points and rebounds. He's been doing a fantastic job all night finding the open man, creating points for Wheaton.
5:34 left to play. Christian Rodriguez, the leading scorer for the Forcers. He has 19 points and 6 boards. The Forcers on a 9-2 run in the last 3 minutes and 6 seconds. They trailed this game by as many as 20 points when they were down 74-54 with 12:22 to go in the second half.
In Lake Forest, they only had 4 points off turnovers in the first half. They've had 10 in the second half. Those make a difference.
Wheaton in this matchup have won the last 4 matchups. Lake Forest is 1-17 in their last 18 against Wheaton, as Rodriguez, he will go to the line.
Rodriguez taking that one-on-one drive opportunity. Ref will call that all day, as that was Brady Wingya leaning in, causing the contact.
But the last time Lake Forest beat Wheaton, you got to go back to 2019. November 11th, November 19th, 2019, 78-75. Of course, last year's matchup, a lot less scoring, 68-64. It's already 84-75.
You know, the last time Lake Forest beat Wheaton before that, 1960. Wheaton's won 16 out of the last 17 matchups.
Overall, Wheaton leads the series 49-21. An unlucky roll for Rodriguez, but it will stay on this end. Forster's ball.
Wingya wanted to come down with that one, but unfortunately it's tipped. Rolls off his foot. Not too much he can do about that. Not sure what the refs were signaling there, but Lake Forest ball.
Vishnovac was the one who triggered it. 9-point deficit for Lake Forest. That was Forowitz who bangs it in.
And I gotta say, creating that drive from Forowitz was Alex Brown on the back cut. That made it so no one from Wheaton could help out. Forowitz had an open lane to the hoop. Strong finish. Coach Sauer during the timeout probably told his players, let's keep these possessions going a little longer, run out the shot clock. There's no hurry, we have the lead. No need to rush anything on the offensive side of things.
12-2 run in the last 3 minutes and 40 seconds for Lake Forest. 3 on the shot clock for Martin. Martin with the hook shot, can't get it to go.
Yeah, and that's really not the shot you want to see. Off balance, underhand, off the backboard.
Vishnovac, he's picked up by Kyan Vanderwood. Marshawn wanted not about the three, instead he's fouled.
And he'll be sent to the free throw line. This is the bonus now for Lake Forest. Nice pump fake as Wimyo was forced to make a decision there. And I have noticed Wheaton's shot selection has, the quality of shot selection has gone down a little bit now that they're faced with this increased pressure. Lake Forest putting themselves back in this game. They got to go back to what they were doing before, the ball movement, creating shot opportunities.
A one-on-one at the line for Coltrane Marchand, who last year shot 70% from the charity stripe. 3 points, 3 rebounds. 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals on a block for Marchand. Second free throw is good.
Yeah, he's been doing everything for Lake Forest. He's one of those guys that does the dirty work, making all those little plays that help you win a basketball game.
Stoppage of play.
Looks like the clock hadn't started on time.
Well, if they wanted to, they can go to the tablet to review, see how much time they need to put back on the clock.
And if you're just joining us, Wheaton led by as much as 20 in the second half, but Lake Forest been fighting their way back, haven't given up. Now, this the closest the game has been since very early on in the first half.
14-2 run for the Forsters in the last 4 minutes and 15 seconds. As it looks like they just deducted 1 second off the shot clock. Or did they? They're still discussing it.
This is a chance for both teams to regroup here. Wheaton trying to stall Lake Forest momentum. But honestly, the way Wheaton was scoring earlier was going out in transition, being aggressive. And it seems like they've played a little more cautious now in the second half. So even though the game, there's only 4.5 minutes left and they're up by 5 points, they still want to be true to who they're being before. Continue with their aggressive play style.
Thunder looking for their first 2-0 start since the 2022-23 season. Lake Forest looking to avoid dropping 2 straight games to begin this season.
Vanderwood's smart decision, getting out of that press there. But already only 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Not a lot of time for Wheaton to get something going.
Vanderwood picked up by Forowitz. 5 on the shot clock. Vanderwood right at Soren Richardson, who bangs it in. Timeout taken by Coach Schauer. And Wheaton's back up 86-79.
If you're Coach Schauer, you love to see your star player stepping up in that situation, delivering, swarmed by defenders, still somehow getting that shot to fall.
25 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists for Soren Richardson. As for Wheaton, after this, they'll be at Pope on November 15th, and then it's the Leaf Fun Classic. No, it's not the Leaf Fun Classic. It's Benedictine next Tuesday, and then the Leaf Fun Classic with St. Scholastica. That will be a very fun tournament because UW Lacrosse is in that mix. They're playing Rose Holman on the other side of the bracket, and for Lacrosse, they're the 7th ranked team in the country.
That'll be a good test because, as we've mentioned before, Carthage is ranked 8th. That'll be a good test for Wheaton to kind of feel out what one of those top 10 ranked teams in D3 looks like.
Meanwhile, for Lake Forest, they'll have MSOE on November 15th, Illinois Tech on November 19th, and then their second home game of the season against McAllister, November 22nd. As we said before, give the Foresters a lot of credit for chipping back into this ballgame when they were down by as many as 20 points. This is not over yet.
Yeah, and really they've kind of came back out of nowhere. It hasn't been just one couple-minute run. It's been consistently pressuring Wheaton, getting the shots they want to get while limiting Wheaton's potential on offense.
Vishnovac at the top of the key. Under 4 minutes to go.
They're trying to get it to Christian Rodriguez. Now switching sides.
DHO, it was Vishnovac.
Oh, there it is, Christian Rodriguez.
Double team comes, denied by Carson Greer.
Well, Carson Greer makes such a big difference there as a rim protector. That's what Wheaton was lacking last year. They just weren't able to stop those plays. He's got quite a big wingspan, able to knock that one away.
Second block for Greer in this game. Richardson for 3. Can't get it to go.
It was a tight contest there. Lake Forest has learned their lesson. They're not giving him any extra space.
Marchand, what a nice feed, and the bullet pass to Forowitz.
And Forowitz caught Vanderwood sleeping there on the defensive end, moved right into the middle. Got to be more on top of things.
Vanderwood, pickpocket taken away by Vishnevak.
Not too much dribbling from Wheaton.
14th turnover for Wheaton. Lake Forest has turned it over 10 times. Rodriguez, they fake the DHO. Twirling, blocked by Greer, and the putback somehow by Brown. Timeout.
Rodriguez is grabbing his knee. Hopefully he's okay. Very nice move. As you see, he faked the handoff, spin move to the hoop. Probably a foul on Carson Greer, but Alex Brown there for the putback. And now this game is within 3 points.
Christian Rodriguez being assisted right now. What a dominant game he's had. 20.6 rebounds and assists for the senior out of Texas.
He's really coming into his own this season. He scored 27 in that first game. Last season, he averaged 11.7 rebounds, but he didn't have as big of a scoring role because of Alex Knight. But this year, he's really coming into his own. He's a dominant scorer for Lake Forest, especially since their other big scorer, Alex Forowitz, he has 19. He's not having a bad game, but he hasn't been quite as involved in the offense, hasn't got quite as many touches.
So 2:38 left to go. This game has been flipped on its head. Wheaton led it by as many as 20 points. The lead is cut down to 3. Lake Forest has never led in this ball game.
Yeah, and it really started when they started pressing Wheaton, and it didn't work at first, but then they changed something about their press. Now they're almost picking off these passes.
Alex Brown got a piece of it, and that's a 10-second violation, as you said.
Wow, they've completely reversed the narrative of this game. You gotta give credit to Lake Forest. The press wasn't working, and I'll admit it, I was a hater. I said they should stop pressing, go back to their main defense, but they made some adjustments. They put more pressure on these passes. They haven't allowed Wheaton to just lob it over the middle. And because of that, Wheaton doesn't really have too many other options to what they can do, and now Lake Forest finds himself in a situation to tie this game up potentially on this next possession.
I think they're just talking to our clock operators to determine how much time to put back. But that is turnover number 15 for the Thunder.
Yeah, and the turnovers have really been piling up in the second half. They only had 4 turnovers in the first half, 11 in the second half as the back cut.
Borowitz fading away, can't get it to go. Who has it? Lake Forest has it.
You want to see Wheaton come away with a rebound there. They had 3 guys there, unable to pull it down. It's a very well executed back cut from Alex Forowitz. That's what Lake Forest has been doing well all game. Wheaton's got to watch their aggressiveness there as it creates those back opportunities. And that ball is thrown away.
Coltrane Marchand fell on that play. If he didn't slip, he probably would have taken a wide open 3.
Yeah, it was a screen by Alex Brown, and you're right, if he didn't slip, he would have at least been able to catch that ball and keep the offensive possession alive.
That was a good down screen there by Lake Forest. Just an unfortunate slip.
Seems like that's the first mistake they've made in the second half almost, or at least in the last 5 to 10 minutes.
Before the Foresters, an 18-4 run in the last 6 minutes and 27 seconds. Thunder trying to close it out.
And for the Thunder, it's about getting their offense back.
A time of blocking foul called against Lake Forest. I believe they're going to call against Forowitz.
Martin will be heading to the line here. He's shooting 6 for 6 on the night. Wheaton shooting very well, 17 for 20, compared to 16 for 24 from last game.
And Martin last year shot 63% from the free throw line. As it looks like Christian Rodriguez is good to go. Glad to see him back, a pivotal piece for the Foresters.
Yeah, you never want to see a player like that get injured in a game like this. You want to see their best, Lake Forest best against Wheaton's best. Good to see him back in to play out these last 2 minutes because he's been so influential for this Lake Forest team.
It is a 1-and-1 for Wheaton with both teams at 7 fouls in the second half. So technically, in the bonus, misses the second free throw. It's still a 2-possession game with Wheaton leading by 4.
Lake Forest will absolutely be working to get the ball to Christian Rodriguez.
Forowitz gets the screen from Marchand. Under 2 minutes to play. Forster's down by 4. Popovich finds Rodriguez. Yes, sir. He puts it in.
And Carson Greer actually did a good job fronting Christian Rodriguez and not letting him get the ball inside, but they left him open when another Lake Forest player got into the middle.
Greer, blocking foul.
Oh man, that's such a tough call as a ref to make. Momentum killer for Lake Forest.
Chance at a 3-point play for Carson Greer with 91 seconds to go.
Yeah, the problem was Coltrane Marchand was in that inner circle where you're not allowed to take a charge.
16 points. Are there 15 points for Carson Greer? That's 16, and along with 3 blocks, the Thunder have a 5-point lead.
And that could be one of the big momentum swings in this game. Lake Forest was down 1 possession, had a lot of momentum. Now they're back to being down 5. Only a minute 20 left.
Marchand pulls up for mid-range, puts it in. It's a 3-point game.
What a clutch play. That's not even amazing shot selection, but with the nice touch, got it to roll in. That's what Lake Forest has been doing the second half, hitting those shots that they need to stay in it. Less than a minute left to go.
Brown, Marchand, and Vishnovac each with 4 fouls. 9 on the shot clock. Richardson lost the ball. Greer has it. 5 on the shot clock for Carson Greer. Denied. Ball goes out of bounds. They'll stay with Wheaton. 3 on the shot clock.
Wheaton's going to be running inbounds play here. Oh, looks like they're going to review this. Oh no, it's a timeout call. They'll probably talk to the refs a little bit though. No, just gonna be a timeout call.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you do have the ability to challenge in Division III. If you wanted to challenge that out of bounds, it would have to be initiated by a coach's challenge. The referees under 2 minutes cannot review it by themselves. So a point to note for future games. That being said, 3 seconds left. What are you dialing up for Wheaton?
I mean, what's worked so far is Soren Richardson starting on the paint and Carson Greer there on the block. And then you try to set a screen for Richardson to peel out to that corner for a 3. Or if that doesn't open up, Carson Greer could roll to the basket. I would say those are your first 2 options.
And for Lake Forest, are you switching every ball screen?
Yeah, you got to switch because Wheaton only has 3 seconds left on the shot clock. They're obviously going to have to shoot right away. So you just need as much defensive pressure as possible.
It is a 1-possession game, 90-87.
You see there's Carson Greer on the block. Sorry about that. There's Carson Greer on the block and Richardson. Oh, he fakes going out to the corner, and he's fouled on the shot. That's good coaching by Coach Schauer right there, anticipating that Lake Forest was going to anticipate Richardson coming out to the corner. Richardson making a nice juke. Getting the ball, drawing the foul. With a chance to put his team up by 5.
And for Coltrane Marchand, he's officially fouled out with 5 fouls, so he will not return. The other 2 players, Vishnovac and Alex Brown, each with 4 fouls. Wheaton, no one really in foul trouble for them. As Luke Arrington is back in for Lake Forest. Richardson, 25 points, 4 rebounds, 4-6, 6 of 7, make it 7 of 8.
These are huge free throws. Nothing but net.
5-point game now.
If you're Lake Forest, you don't need a 3, but you do need to move fast.
Favia with the ball. 30 seconds to go. Arrington, 16 on the shot clock. For Popovich, puts up the shot and puts it in. Timeout taken by Coach Griggs. 92-89 with 21.3 seconds to go. Drew, what's the strategy for Lake Forest?
Well, Lake Forest is obviously going to be continuing their full court press, trying to create a turnover. And if they don't get the turnover right away, they're going to start the fouling game, send Wheaton to the line, hope they miss the free throw. Wheaton is in the double bonus, though, so that does mean they get a guaranteed 2 shots. But yeah, if Lake Forest, you're going to be keeping under the pressure. I can tell by Coach Schauer's body language he was not happy about that last play. Wheaton needed to step up there on the defensive end. The stop there would have come close to securing them the game. Instead, they let Nicholas Popovich just drive in completely uncontested with a wide open layup.
Lake Forest outscoring Wheaton 56-44 here in the second half. Again, we thought this was going to be completely in control of Wheaton, especially in the second half when they were leading by as many as 20 points. Give Lake Forest a lot of credit for fighting hard, even if they lose.
Absolutely, 100%. And Lake Forest, they only scored 33 points in the first half. Their offense didn't look like it was going anywhere. But I think what really kickstarted their offense was good defense. And Wheaton was a little less aggressive. They turned the ball over because of Lake Forest pressure, and because of that, they were able to get going. Lake Forest was in the offensive end. That completely changed the game.
Devin Martin, Soren Richardson, Kyle Nabbs, Carson Greer, Kyan Vanderwood are on the floor. Vishnovak, Anthony Favia, Alex Forowitz, Alex Brown, and Nicholas Popovich are on the floor for Lake Forest. Let's see what they want to do.
Yeah, and they're looking to get the ball into Richardson there. It's going to be fouled immediately, but I did see there Anthony Favia with a little jersey tug on Richardson, trying to not let him create that separation. Those little things aren't really going to get called. Richardson wanted something to get called, but Wheaton will go to the free throw line anyway.
So Kyan Vanderwood, the leading scorer against Concordia, Wisconsin in their first game with 26 points on 57% true shooting, has 13 points in this game. This is to put the Wheaton up by 2 scores.
He gets 2 shots here automatically, double bonus. This is where the practice comes in. Hundreds of free throws he's put up in these months leading up to this moment.
Vanderwood, a 63% free throw shooter, as Rodriguez is back in the game with 19.7 seconds left to go. The Forcers are also out of timeouts. They cannot stop the clock. They're going to have to go the length of the court. Misses the second. Rebound gathered in by Vishnovak.
Because of that miss, the Foresters don't necessarily need a 3. They just need any kind of quick bucket, any way they can.
Favia picked up by Vanderwood. 10 to shoot. Nice backdoor cut. Taken away by Devin Martin. The ball's on the ground. It's a jump ball. Lake Forest is going to retain possession with 7.4 seconds to go.
And that was a perfect back cut by Forowitz, but the only problem was on that is that Anthony Favia had a weak pass, and Devin Martin was able to get there and intercept it. Very good defensive play from Devin Martin, staying on top of things, not allowing that pass to get there. Although a better pass from Favia would have gotten it.
Forowitz, 5 to shoot, has to put up the shot, can't get it to go. Greer gets the rebound, and it looks like a foul before that pass.
It looks like that'll almost do it. All Greer needs to do is hit one of these free throws and it's game over. And Lake Forest was so close there. Alex Forowitz contested heavily on that shot. The crowd yelling MVP.
16.6 rebounds and an assist, not necessarily the worst thing in the world. You missed that free throw, you're still leading by 2 scores. It's going to take a miracle for Lake Forest to come back. But what a gutsy win for Wheaton. Able to hang on, they'll go to 2-0.
All Wheaton has to do is just not touch Lake Forest.
Second free throw is no good. Lake Forest puts up one more shot. It's not going to count for Alex Forowitz. The Thunder hang on in dramatic fashion. 93-89 is your final from King Arena. They improved to 2-0. The Lake Forest Forcers dropped to 0-2. Again, for Wheaton, their next game is at Hope on November 15th, and then they're home at Benedictine at King Arena 11, November 18th, and then the Lee Fun Classic with St. Scholastica and a to-be-determined opponent. Meanwhile, for Lake Forest, they'll take on MSOE on November 15th, as we'll get a post-game interview between Drew Swiss and Coach Schauer. Guys, take it away.
Drew Swiston coming in from Wheaton Thunder Sports Network in King Arena, where the Thunder have just defeated the Lake Forest Forters 93-89. We got Coach Schauer with us. Coach Schauer, it was a great first half. The second half, Wheaton slowed down a little bit. What do you think went wrong, and how can they fix it moving forward?
Well, I don't know that I want to answer questions about what went wrong when we won, but I will take responsibility for this. Eventually, we're not going to be a very easy team to press, but we haven't spent very much time on it, and we looked a little tentative and confused with it, so we need to work on that a little bit. But this is who we're going to be, right? We're really good offensively. We've got a lot of weapons, and we couldn't guard my sister right now, and I think she's probably listening. But listen, it's going to be more fun to watch this team try to grow than a team that can't score. And so you can see why we're excited about Carson Greer. And I thought Brady Winya had a good game, and Reed Olson's going to get better. This is just I really appreciated that we persevered. Right, there were moments we could have panicked. I thought Soren did a great job of kind of going, hey, let's get the ball to me, and we're going to be fine. I mean, we're a work in progress. We're learning on the job here, so we're going to have some moments that don't look real good. But I think you can see why I'm so excited about this group.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach Schauer. This is Drew Swiston alongside with my partner Aiden Kong, the Wheaton Thunder Sports Network. We'll see you next Tuesday for Wheaton versus Benedictine.